today we are moving on to the Rock and Roll Show by Mrs. Dwyer's 4th grade class. I'm very excited to learn all that they have learned about the rock cycle. After our assembly, we will have our Leaves in the Forest of Virtue presentation, which is an amazing time that our teachers get to celebrate the great character that you guys demonstrate every day in your classes. So I'm super excited to see that too. Parents and grandparents and siblings, thank you so much for attending. Mrs. Dwyer, Mrs. Holmes, and her class has been working really hard on this very entertaining assembly for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce Mrs. Dwyer. This is her first assembly, and she has done an amazing job. So let's give her a huge round of applause.
Okay. Shouldn't have worn the high boots today, but I just want to thank you all for coming. We're very excited. The students have been working so hard on their Prezi presentations and then our special surprise we have for you at the end. And you'll figure out what it is once it starts, and you're welcome to join in with us. So I'll give you that hint. Also, in our 2 presentations, there's 1 trivia question. So 3rd graders especially, because this is new geology to you, so I challenge you to see if you can answer that trivia question, okay? All right, so without further ado, this is the first group, the rock cycle group.
The Rock Cycle by Thomas, Michael, Raj, Abby, Julie, and Christian. The first step of the rock cycle. This is when the magma comes out of the volcano and cools, creating igneous rock.
The second step of the rock cycle. Igneous rocks break down into tiny rocks called sediment.
The third step of the rock cycle. This is when tiny particles called sediment settle on the bottom of any body of water, and more sediment is piled on top of each other and forms a rock. The fourth step of the rock cycle. Next, the sedimentary rock, over time, can be changed into a metamorphic rock.
The 5th step of the rock cycle is when metamorphic rock will be either melted with the cycle over or will be uplifted or exposed.
Thank you for watching our rock cycle presentation.
Igneous rocks are formed when a volcano erupts and the lava cools and hardens into igneous rocks.
Types of rocks. Some examples of igneous rocks include gabbro and granite. Where would igneous rocks be found? Igneous rocks would be found near volcanoes.
What important role do igneous rocks play in the rock cycle? Igneous rocks take weathering and erosion to turn into soft sediments of mud and sand. This is compacted to form sedimentary rocks.
Trivia. How are igneous rocks formed? Yes, that's right. When the lava cools. By Aditya, Kelly, Paige, Sophia, and TK. Sedimentary rocks are formed when they sink to the bottoms of rivers, lakes, and oceans. Layer after layer of broken down earth is put on top of each other. The layers get pushed lower and lower until it turns to rock. This is done by pressure pushing the rock. With sedimentary rocks, many layers. They're almost like a layer cake. But don't try sedimentary rock. It probably won't taste. What are some examples of sedimentary rock? Examples of sedimentary rock are limestone, siltstone, sandstone, mudstone, and shale. These rocks are very different in shape, size, and color. Some of these rocks might not have the material that others have. Sedimentary rocks take a long time to form, almost 200 years. Where sedimentary rocks are found. Sedimentary rocks are found in the bottom of rivers, lakes, and oceans, and any places where rain has fallen. Sedimentary rocks form from igneous rock and moisture. Some rocks are formed differently. Metamorphic rock could also turn into sedimentary. Sedimentary rock facts. Sedimentary rock comes after igneous rock in the rock cycle. It takes thousands to millions of years for igneous rock to cool and harden. Weathering and erosion occurs. Erosion and weathering are ways that moisture affects a rock and breaks it down. The rock turns into sediments. Then the sediments turn into sedimentary rock. Trivia. Where are sedimentary rocks found? A desert. B, anywhere that rains or a body of water. Or C, anywhere. Addison.
C, anywhere that rains or body of water.
Correct. Metamorphic Rocks by Silas, Tammy, Kylie, and Amrita. How are metamorphic rocks formed? A metamorphic rock is formed pre-existing rocks under high temperatures and pressure.
What important part does the metamorphic rock play in the rock cycle? Metamorphic rocks are the second of the three major rock type groupings. As described in the discussion of the igneous rocks, the most general classification system is based upon process of the rock formation.
Where would these rocks be found? Metamorphic rocks can be found at great depths within the Earth's crust. What are some examples of metamorphic rock? Quartzite is a metamorphic rock made from sandstone. Thank you for watching. Intro. This presentation is about the layers of the Earth. We hope you enjoy it. Crust. The crust is made out of several elements. An example of an element is silver. The crust is made up of iron, oxygen, etc. The crust is about 3 to 5 miles thick, 8 kilometers. Mantle. The mantle is made out of a rocky material composed of silicon, iron, and other substances. It is about 1,800 miles thick. The outer core of the Earth is a liquid layer. This layer is made up of iron and nickel. It is 3,959 miles thick, which is 6,371 kilometers. The inner core is a solid material made up of iron and nickel that like the outer core. The inner core is about 990
end of our Prezi presentations. And this was the first time the students worked with Prezi, and they assembled and typed and put pictures all on their own. So I'm very proud of their technological skills that they showed. We're going to now have our grand finale. This is where the rock and roll portion of our show really comes into place. So we are going to sing a song for you. The words are going to be projected up here, so feel free to sing along with us. I'm sure the chorus will be with you for the remainder of the day, so we hope you join in.
They travel on, it's one day here and the next day gone. Sometimes they bend, sometimes they build, sometimes they break, but the water is known. There's no ground inside the earth's surface, where rock changes to igneous. Rocky trees and backward forms and lava lasers, streets and voids. It only hesitates, my crystals forming glaze, who's quickly glassy, that's the way. Cycle of pathways, I wanna ride the rock cycle. Deep pressure and melting, and erosion rock cycle. Erosion break rocks from the ground, the depth essentially settle down. Gases not compaction, sedimentation will build erosion. Brooklyn, big platforms and sedimentary rocks are really great. But push rocks down and then again, deep pressure with the whole effect. There's no rock they can hold, changing times, this I know. Only in the light I'm in, looks like they were planning. Cycle of pathways, I wanna ride the rock cycle. Deep pressure and melting, and erosion rock cycle. Cycle of pathways, I wanna ride the rock cycle. Deep pressure and melting, and erosion rock cycle. They are made out of different minerals, different minerals. Natural structures, solid, but they are not alive.
Thank you, Mrs. Dwyer's class. That was really cute. That song will be in my head for the rest of the day. It's really good for you third graders to get a little bit of exposure to stuff about geology, because you'll be learning about that next year if you don't know some stuff already. But also my fourth graders, we're studying geology, so it's good for you to hear this stuff several times. It gets in your head better, okay? And getting it through songs is a really great way for some people to learn. So that's really cool. All right, I've got a few leaves to give out today for our class. And so I'd like Prem to come up, and Allie, and Jonathan, and Zachary, and Vedika, and Max to join me up here. I want Prem to be seen. Stand a little that way in the spotlight, sir, okay? And darling, I just need to tell you, for some reason, I don't have this in color, but when we go upstairs, we're going to make this in color, and then you'll go get it signed, okay? Prem is a quiet member of our class who can be counted upon to deal fairly and respectfully with everyone, and to work politely and agreeably with everyone. When we were trying to get our big assembly a few weeks ago together, I asked Prem, because of his technical expertise, which is really incredible, to put together a PowerPoint presentation and photographs of the Canadian provinces. Though I was sure that he could have done it single-handedly, he happily worked with others who were interested to come up with a very nice work product. When the work product accidentally got lost and had to be recreated, Prem took responsibility and immediately set about the work that was needed. Prem is someone who shows compassion for others and seeks to help when little fiascos occur in the classroom. I have noticed that he's extremely kind to his second grade reading buddy, and in fact asked if he could have the same buddy again today. He tries to make his little buddy feel comfortable at all times. Thank you, Prem, for your kindness to others and to me. I don't know what I would do without you sometimes. This is Allie Remillard. You're getting a leaf in the Forest of Virtue for fortitude. Allie is someone you quickly appreciate as a teacher because of the enthusiasm and joy she brings to a classroom and the willingness that she has to participate actively in any lesson regardless of the subject. In fact, when Allie is absent, our class discussions are a little less rich. What I want to highlight today is her perseverance and positive attitude. No task is too small for Allie to make a good solid effort, and no task is too big to complain about. As we have been challenged to learn some new methods of multiplication and division with fancy names presented in our new math programs, Allie has kept a sense of humor and a willingness to go with the flow. She stays engaged, asking questions that benefit everyone, and always open to trying something new. When we were preparing for our assembly, she was the first one to know her lines and know the steps to the Inuit dance. And so that's why she was out in front for that one. Ellie's enthusiasm, positive attitude, and smile are infectious. Thanks, Ellie. This is my friend Jonathan. Jonathan, a few weeks ago, our class put on an assembly about Canada, and I needed someone to wear a kilt to portray Nova Scotia in our province's fashion show. Jonathan volunteered and carried through beautifully without fuss or fanfare. So that small incident gives you an idea of what I see every day in the class: compassion for others and their needs, humility, a sense of humor, and an ability not to take himself too seriously, and a quiet strength and determination. Probably few in the class know that Jonathan is consistently at the top of the class in grades because he stays focused on what he needs to do to excel and does not boast about his accomplishments. I admire that when he experienced a setback on a particular language arts test, he seemed to vow to himself that that would not happen again, and he has attacked more recent language arts tests with real determination and attention to detail. Jonathan is a smart student, a nice boy in every sense of the word. He's a pleasure to have in class. This is my friend Zach Sims. In December, the fourth grade made over $400 selling rainbow loom bracelets. to our school community, the proceeds to be donated to Greyhound Friends. Few know that it was a small group of students, including Zachary, who came to me in October with the idea of selling bracelets for charity. Zach's knowledge of what was involved and his fervent belief that the project could work gave me faith that it could be carried out successfully. Throughout our manufacturing process, Zach was very generous with supplies, with his knowledge, and his time. He made fancy products at home that he willingly donated to the cause, and he educated his friends on how to do the job. I see generosity in Zach's actions in class as well. He is willing to lend a hand or to listen to a friend in need. He's been a help acclimating a new student in our class to our classroom. He also believes in doing an honest day's work, rarely, if ever, being unprepared. Thank you, Zach, for the help and for your inspiration. This is Vedika. Vedika is a wonderful student, and she could get a leaf for many different things. She's smart and conscientious, with a ready smile and a certain joie de vivre that was on display at our assembly in Canada if you saw her as a cheerleader. She's not someone who has a lot of problems demonstrating self-control, but I still want to give her a leaf for temperance. The reason is that Vedika often has very insightful and thoughtful comments and questions to contribute to our discussions, but she never interrupts anyone or waves her hand wildly as if she might burst. She waits her turn patiently and acknowledges other people's contributions respectfully. Also, I have seen Vedika get down to morning work a little more quickly when she comes into class in the morning, and I know that it takes her some self-control to pull away from checking in with her friends. Vedika is a pleasure to have in our classroom. Thanks, sweetie. And this is Max. Max is a smart and hardworking student. I don't think there's been a day that he has not had his homework, and he frequently impresses me with his attention to detail. What I want to acknowledge today is his increased willingness to take risks, maybe moving a little bit outside of his comfort zone. That takes fortitude, but I'm sure that it will lead Max to discover whole new areas of ability. Max is kind of on the shy side, but when it came time to make a speech as a candidate for the Board of Trustees of our Rainbow Loom Company, Max did a phenomenal job. He addressed all of the skills that one would need in a director and, after being elected, attended to the job very carefully. Max was not the first to volunteer to be a model for our province's fashion show, and wearing a Viking helmet was not something that he was particularly keen on initially. But he adjusted to his role beautifully and was even willing to become a square dancer, if that's what it took for our show to succeed. Finally, I see Max raise his hand more often in class these days, and that is a plus for all of us. Congratulations. And Mrs. Dwyer, you're up.
If I could please have Tammy, Christian, Amber, Colin, Ruthvik, Caroline, and we're doing a repeat of Silas, because there was a little discrepancy the last time, but it's going to be back again. Okay, so this is Tammy, for those of you who don't know, and she is getting a leaf for exhibiting justice. Tammy is a very caring person who will help any student in the classroom before they even ask. She is always volunteering to complete tasks in the classroom no matter how many times she's already helped out. There's one specific situation that really stayed with me about Tammy. She normally walks in the classroom very happy and full of life, but there was one day she came in very quiet. When I called her over and asked her what was wrong, she told me about a situation on the bus. She said that someone was making fun of another student. She explained to me how wrong that was and how she wanted to help. We processed the situation and both concluded she was being a great example of an upstander. Tammy was not even close friends with the student on the bus, but she showed compassion and her kind heart with the situation on the bus. This is one of my very favorite qualities that Tammy possesses, and I love having her in my class. And this is Christian, who I'm a little disappointed he class this week, but I didn't see them today. So maybe a different time they'll come out. So Christian is receiving this leap for demonstrating prudence. Prudence is having sound judgment even in difficult situations. Christian is always looking to do the right thing, and he is a very honest and caring individual. There was a specific situation where I could really see these strong character traits come out in Christian. We had some items go missing in the classroom, and since Christian heard of this situation, even though he wasn't personally affected, he was focused on trying to help. He knew the situation was wrong and wanted to figure it out as quickly and as painlessly as possible. By Christian really stepping up to help this situation, it really showed me how focused he was on caring about what was right. This is a great comfort as a teacher to have a student as honest and as helpful as Christian is. And here we have Amber. Amber is one of the most caring young ladies that I know. She's always willing to help any one of her classmates to teachers in the classroom. Amber is someone who you can always count on to follow directions or be willing to contribute to any class discussion we're having. Amber holds herself to very high standards on her schoolwork. This can be a rare quality depending on the subject that's being taught. Whenever there is assignment given, no matter the difficulty, Amber completes it to the best of her ability. One example was when we started division. When this concept seemed very challenging at first, Amber persevered through the difficulty and has mastered the concept. She was able to contribute to class discussions as well as help fellow classmates who were in trouble. She is definitely a kind, caring student who I thoroughly enjoy having in class every day. And here we have Mr. Rutvick. Rutvick is getting this leap for prudence. Rutvick is a very diligent student who sets very high academic goals for himself. He gets started right away on any assignment that I give him and is constantly checking to make sure his work is thorough enough. Rutvick is a student who, when all work is done, will ask to have more. He has such a desire to learn and will take on any challenging assignment that I give him. There was one day where I decided not to give any homework because the students had taken a couple tests that day. Rutvick came up to me and asked if he can have an assignment to do. Although I was giving the students a break, Rutvick was still very eager to learn. As a teacher, I appreciate how driven he is, and I'm confident he can complete any challenge that he puts his mind to. I thoroughly enjoy having Rutvick in my class. And this is Colin. Colin is getting a leap in the Forest of Virtue for exhibiting fortitude. Fortitude is having the ability and courage to face any obstacles in his way. Colin is a very confident young man who continuously works hard. He is a very loyal friend and is always willing to defend any of them in whatever situation they are in. Colin not only demonstrates fortitude in friendships, but he exhibits this trait in his schoolwork as well. Colin was absent when we first introduced long divisions. This was a challenging subject for the whole class at first. Colin did not get discouraged. He took the challenge of missing some of the first few lessons and set out to conquer it. He asked for help when he needed it from the teachers as well as his classmates. With his perseverance, he was able to be one of the students who could master long division and take his unit test with confidence. Colin is a great example of courage and perseverance, and he is a wonderful addition to the classroom. Here we have Caroline. Caroline has made amazing improvements since the beginning of the year. Caroline loves math, but when it came to reading or writing, she wasn't as excited. After some conversations about strategies, Caroline has really become focused during all subjects instead of just math. One specific example that really stuck out to me was when Caroline controlled her urge to partner up with her friends and chose to work by herself. When I asked her about this, she replied she wanted to be able to focus on her work. This showed extreme self-control and has really paid off. Caroline is a great example of someone who sets goals for herself and works very hard to achieve them. She takes any steps she can think of to make sure she succeeds, and I am very proud of her. And here we have Silas. Silas is getting a leap for justice. He is one of the most caring students that I know. He continually puts the needs of others before his own. He shows the most respect for his classmates as well as his teachers. Silas is also a very hard worker. He was elected one of the board of directors for our Rainbow Loom fundraiser. He showed incredible responsibility with the tasks he was given. He made sure his work was completed, and when finished, offered to help others with whatever they needed. Silas has a very strong focus on the well-being of others, and this has had a positive impact on our classroom environment.
Good morning. I want to thank the fourth grade for a wonderful assembly. Can I have the following students come up? Liana, Sarah, Luke, Danny, Lindsay, and Addison. Liana is getting this leave today for fortitude. Liana, in addition to being a wonderful friend and buffalo lover, is a very hardworking student. She loves to write, create stories, and quietly keeps to herself. She has had to be out of the classroom a lot the last couple of weeks, and I am in awe of how much she is doing. Liana. I am in awe of how much she is doing to make up work at home. Liana puts in a hard day's work, working to keep up her assignments, and when she is done, she brings them all home. And Liana gets them all done, usually in one night. One area of expertise that Liana holds high above some of her classmates is the completion of her literature circle discussion roles. Liana has the most insightful, open-ended questions and the most meaningful connections in class. I look forward to reading her packet every week at the end of the day. I love having Liana in class, and she is someone who has shown me the value of hard work as the value and true beauty of buffaloes. Danny is getting the leaf in the forest of virtue for prudence. Danny is getting this leaf for wisdom and honesty. Danny is always thinking and paying attention. He will raise his hand to answer any question, even before I ask the question. He has even been known to answer a question that is posed within a statement. Danny is wonderful to have in the audience, as I love when I have everybody else's eyes and ears, and I have Danny's hand in the air. Danny is often fondly known as the king of what-ifs. Danny is always anticipating the very next best thing or worst thing to make a connection to or ask a question about. This leads to the understanding that Danny can always smile at himself and answer all the questions that is asked or answered. Danny is the most trustworthy student. I have him to help me with classroom conflicts when classroom conflicts arise. He is a man of his word. Danny is a very well-liked student and always has wonderful things to say about other students. Sarah is getting this leaf in the forest of virtue for prudence. Sarah is a very sweet and caring student who works hard every single day. Sarah has sound judgment and makes wise choices. Sarah can sometimes go under the radar because she is so quiet and well-behaved. And I'm sorry. Sarah is, I have been so proud of the way that she has organized herself and adjusted to the routines of work completion. At the beginning of the year, Sarah struggled with remembering homework and turning things in on time. I am pleased to say that Sarah has established a routine for herself, and she has been diligent in turning her work and being a model student for the other members of her team. It is a pleasure to have you in class. Lindsay is getting this leaf in the forest for fortitude. Lindsay has, more specifically, perseverance. I love the work ethic in Lindsay. As soon as the daily 5 work is passed out, Lindsay gets right to work. She works steadily until all is complete. Not only is she hardworking, but she wants to get everything done right the first time. To this end, Lindsay asks a lot of questions. Lindsay is working hard to trust herself more. She has been putting a lot of effort into her ability to get things done on her own and right. I think it is very rewarding when Lindsay puts her hand up to ask me a question, then puts it down and says, wait a minute, let me read the directions. Lindsay is very well liked and is a friend to many students in class. My favorite memory of Lindsay will always be when she smiles to herself as if a light bulb has gone up, because she knows she has just read the direction and can trust her instinct. Good job, honey. Last but not least, Addison is getting this leaf in the Forest of Virtue for justice. Justice is demonstrated Addison demonstrates justice every single minute of the day. Justice is defined as treating others with respect and taking responsibility for the well-being or fairness. This is Addison. Addison is a true friend in every sense of the word. He can honestly take a friend from being sad to feeling like the king of the playground in minutes. Addison gets along with all his classmates, and he takes special notice to watch out for students who are playing alone or feeling left out. Addison has, on more than one occasion, taken the time to have lunch or recess inside with a friend, or to include a student in a game who is feeling a little down. He is a dream to have in class and one of the most polite, understanding students. Addison is a student I feel honored to have in my class, as he cares, nurtures, and protects students who are in need.
Good morning, everybody. We have 6 more leaves to give out today, and I would like you to show these 6 children the respect they have earned. So please step forward. Lily, Sam Vasili, Ava Remillard, Michael Bazignani, Shreya, and Brian Leonard. It is my pleasure this morning to give a leaf to Lily. She is receiving this leaf in the Forest of Virtue for demonstrating prudence. Because of her wisdom and good judgment she applies in the classroom. Lily's work is always complete and completed very well. I appreciate the responsibility she demonstrates in her schoolwork and homework alike, as it is always completed to the very, very best of her ability. She will often go that extra step beyond what is required to show extra effort and attention to detail. She is always up for a challenge, never complaining when a new assignment is introduced. Actually, she seems to enjoy new challenges and seeks to acquire more knowledge. Her wisdom and responsibility is something I can always rely on if I need assistance in any way. For this, I am very grateful. Congratulations, Lily. Sam Vasili, I am so excited to give this leaf to you today. You are receiving this for justice. More specifically, for showing kindness and compassion to your first grade reading buddy. This year is the first year that 3rd graders have been the big kids in a reading buddy pair. Sam has taken on this role with pride and responsibility. I see him giving his buddy his undivided attention, showing interest in everything she has to say, and staying by her side during reading buddy time. He has stepped up to the plate to be the role model I ask all my students to be during this very important community service opportunity. Sam, I am so proud of you, and Ellie is very lucky to have such a wonderful 3rd grade reading buddy. Ella. This is the 2nd Remillard to receive a leaf today. Good day for the Remillard family. Ava is receiving this leaf in the Forest of Virtue for demonstrating fortitude, for the optimism and determination she brings to school with her every day. As challenging as schoolwork can be at times, Ava faces it with a positive attitude and fearlessness. I love to look at Ava's math work and see her utilizing the strategies, hints, and methods that we teach in class. Instead of guessing or giving up on a problem, I see her drawing pictures, showing patterns, recording each step to help her find the solution to a problem. She is very resourceful. She knows how to look in her book, at the board, or on her paper to find other examples to help her get that information she needs to help her move forward. Ava, I admire your perseverance. It is such a pleasure to watch you give it all you've got and watch your skills improve. Congratulations. Shreya is receiving this leaf today for demonstrating justice. Because of the way she treats others in the classroom with respect and compassion, Shreya is often one of the very first students done with her math work each day. This is not because she rushes, but because of her focus and her understanding. Since this is the case, she is often used as a teacher's helper, which involves working with other students that may have questions or need some further explanation. Shreya takes this role on with grace, assisting others without giving the answers while respecting each student's needs. The students, as well as myself, appreciate this act of kindness very much. It is very reassuring to know that I have someone I can trust to assist with questions and misunderstandings while I am busy helping others. Thank you, Shreya. I really appreciate your helping hands. Michael is getting this leaf today for also demonstrating justice, for the respect he shows me, as well as all the other teachers and students he works with each day. Michael never has an unkind word to say. He is very genuine, a true model of good character. Michael is so much fun to have in class. He has a wonderful imagination and is able to tell a story with very exciting, elaborate detail. Our class is fortunate to be blessed with his good nature and the kindness he brings to school every day. It is a pleasure to present Michael with this well-deserved leaf. And Brian is getting this leaf for demonstrating temperance. And as you can see, he is a very patient young man, being the very last one today. Brian is getting this leaf for showing patience and self-control during class lessons, as well as when handling social situations with peers. In class, Brian is the one I can count on to raise his hand to answer questions, add to discussions, or to ask pertinent questions. Though he has much to share, he shows patience and understanding when I cannot always call on him. He does not blurt out his thought anyway. Instead, he continues to pay attention and awaits his next opportunity. Brian also shows this ability to be patient and in control in peer situations. I have seen him take the high road, as they say, when faced with a conflict, and try his best to avoid a heated argument. This sense of reason is a wonderful quality, Brian. We are very lucky to have you part of Repeat. Thank you, everybody, for your patience.